Two dope dudes, bringing you the news, leading you to much success with all their insightful views. Do you grow yourself or buy from the top shelf? Are you here to take the reins and gain back your health? Whatever it is, you know the biz. Leave a like, crack a pipe, and let's get on with it. If you want to acquire the knowledge, you don't have to go to college. You can just come hang with Aaron and Dave.
Welcome to the Elevated News Podcast with Two Dope Dudes. We are your source for Midwest cannabis news, culture, more, and everything 420 related. All the exciting deals. Yeah, what's up, dude?
What's up, friends? How are you?
Yeah, what's up? Happy 420 to I hope everybody had a good 420. We were just Dave and I were just talking about how good the deals are on 420 this year, and just what a joke 420 has become.
No, it's like,
in the regulated market at least.
They call it like a Hallmark holiday, but like we got to come up with a different. It's like dispensary holiday.
Well, Whoa.
Yeah, you got blurred out.
No, I know.
You must have got intoxicated, man.
Intoxicated. Well, the big MSO, Big Cannabis, doesn't want me to talk about this stuff. They're trying to suppress us, man. Big Cannabis is trying to suppress the Elevated News Podcast with Two Dope Dudes. You heard it here first.
We got some good encryption, though. They ain't got no chance of getting through.
Yeah. Hey, we got good encryption, just like the seedlocker.com. Shout out to the seedlocker.com. Our friend Daily Homegrown uses RSA encryption, so it's awesome. Welcome to episode 138 of the Elevated News Podcast. How was your weekend, Dave?
Good, really good.
Yeah.
It's it was my uncle's. We did like a celebration for him. His birthday is 4/20.
Really?
What a badass.
Is this the uncle that I've contributed to before? Or is it? Oh, awesome. Oh, well, make sure to tell your uncle happy birthday.
Yeah.
Next time you see him for me. Yeah.
Yeah. I still need to call him today and do the official thing, but
dope.
Yeah, I love the family thing. I love spending time over there with them.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome. Has he popped any seeds yet?
Yeah.
Yeah. How are they looking? They looking good?
Cute.
Oh, good. Cute. I'm super happy.
Yeah. One's tall and excited to reach for the sun. One's short and bushy and
nice.
Just already making beautiful,
Yeah.
I mean, one of them stinks. It just
really
reeks.
You're gonna have to let me know which one that is.
I think Gorilla Cookies or some shit.
Maybe. Oh, dope. I don't remember. Oh, I donated a bunch of seeds, but yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, he was having some fun the other day. Fucking, he's like, hey, you gotta look at these two. He's got a tall one and a short one, a little fat, chunky. He's got 3 or 4.
That's awesome. But I'd love to see him before they harvest.
Maybe. Yeah,
awesome. Oh yeah. Well, again, 420. I talked to a couple people today. Somebody said that they were in line at Market 96 in Oswego and got some surprise boxes.
Nice.
And they're a person who participates in the regulated market as often as they can because it's easy for them. And so I guess again for access to cannabis, it's good. I just don't feel like the 420 is great anymore.
It's Black Friday. It's the Black Friday of cannabis, but I mean, again, it's like you were just saying. There's a place where you have to spend $150 before you can even get to use the deals. Like,
right. I was thinking back to 420 in like 2018, 2019, and remembering some of the some of the deals that they had, and remembering that there was like mega threads online where you could look up the deals in Illinois, and like there's not even a mega thread right now in the normal places because there's no real deals. Like just because you're offering like an extra bag of edibles,
Well,
you know,
that's
buy
it.
one get one free, then like, you know,
I'm okay.
another penny
I'm
pre-roll
for it.
coupon.
If you're the consumer, I'm
Sure.
for it because there are
But it's not.
all of the sales at once and whatever. The problem with Illinois is that you get 30 grams of
Mhm.
flour,
Yeah.
5 grams of concentrate, and 500 milligrams of edibles, and you're done, bud.
Yeah.
So if you searched all the different dispensaries, now you could go to each other different dispensary. Every dispensary isn't going to be able to tell you that you interacted with the other one, but
Mhm.
like you said, if they only got so many of the boxes, well, you have to show up early to that one,
You got to
and then if
stand
the
in
next
line.
and they have the same dang deals,
Yep.
often. So it's like
Sure.
40% off here and 30% off here, and like so maybe you flip flop that at the next place. It just feels like a lot of unnecessary movement because
Mhm.
like okay, let's assume like you're in Aurora, okay, and you've got 4 or 5 dispensaries that
Sure.
are maybe a 15 to 20-minute drive, and it's
Yeah.
not like the end of the world. You could bounce around and do the thing. After visiting one and maxing your limit, driving to the next 3 or 4, you're doing it illegally. If you get
Yeah.
pulled over with an excess amount of cannabis in your car,
Mhm.
or you're gonna have a shitty 420. You're not gonna be able to
Yeah.
go, "Well, sir, they had a incredible deal going on over here."
Yeah.
So,
They
like,
don't care.
no,
And
well,
they know what's up too.
but that's what I'm saying, like, they should just be advocating for extended limits and such.
Well, you're right. And speaking of that, you know, our same friends that we do our monthly medical medical meetup that we've been doing lately went out to Michigan, and he reported back that they had cops all over, just
Oh,
like
I
we
would
said.
imagine.
They said there's cops all over, and they're putting up tons of signs in Indiana talking about how cannabis is not legal.
Oh, yeah, well,
And so like,
Indiana's happy to pop you. They're
yeah,
they're happy to take that revenue.
because they're making money on the enforcement of cannabis,
Mhm.
just like the states are making money on selling cannabis.
And that's why, again, I'm not as opposed to people going out, and if you need to purchase some cannabis in the state, it just sucks because, again,
Mhm.
you can't buy enough to make it worth it, is my well, I guess, like, if you're only consuming 30 grams and it's taking you a month or 2 to consume that, and your 500 milligrams of edible lasts you that long, and you don't even buy concentrates, but you buy a couple of pens inside to
Sure.
kinda, spread you out. Like, this visit, this one day can be, like, pretty cool, but
Sure.
that's not the average. Like, the users that are gonna spend $150 to unlock getting cross joints aren't gonna they're just not gonna that's not the guy.
Right.
Like,
Right.
your target market is one thing, and the person you're actually selling to is another, and, like, okay, whatever. I'm okay. Like I said, dude,
Yeah. We have the most equitable market in the nation.
and people will be out there
Oh yeah. Taking advantage of deals.
going
There
going
are
through.
deals, but
We still
it's
do
what are you getting? What
well,
like
and
what are the deals you're getting on, you know?
yeah, yeah,
You know, and I want to say that's why I always look forward to my friend John. Rates and reviews tells me what's good and
yeah,
what's not in the Illinois regulated market.
yeah.
So,
And I do like that he's been doing some stuff that isn't like commonplace,
mhm,
right? Because and then but he's sprinkling that in too. Like, it's
sure,
cool to hear about Cresco's high supply, $65 a fucking
mhm,
half ounce or whatever the hell it is. Like, that's crazy. That's
yeah,
those are fun times, but that isn't even on 420. That was just a regular day, you know?
right,
So, like, things have gotten more accessible and less expensive, and once you realize, it's the same thing with Black Friday.
Sure.
Okay. People stop standing in line at fucking Best Buy on Black Friday.
Yep.
People stop fucking waiting outside of, because what do you mean? You sit on fucking Amazon
Mm-hmm.
and you buy the shit and then
Yeah.
So I think
Well, you can do the same with your THC. You can just order it online.
that's what I'm saying. Why?
Oh yeah. Let's do plugs real quick, and then I want to hear from John. He's going to talk about Grow Science Topenga crossed with Mike Larry, and then Nature's Heritage Orange Chemeleon. And so I'm excited to hear about that. And then we got some news stories to get into today. We're going to talk about the new March medical cannabis sales numbers out of Illinois.
Nice.
I'm sure you'll be very surprised at the numbers.
Yeah.
I want to talk about Rand Paul co-sponsored a bill that would allow states to opt out of the upcoming federal hemp ban. We also have vaporizing marijuana reduces harmful inhaled byproducts. Big surprise. Basically, vaping is healthier than combusting. And then we're going to talk about Trump's new executive order on psychedelics. So you can find us, the Elevated News Podcast with Two Dope Dudes, on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all your other favorite podcasts and streaming apps. Two Dope Dudes YouTube channel. Please come over, leave a comment. We respond to all the comments on the show, and we appreciate everybody who leaves comments. And also twitter.com at TwoDopeDudes and SupportDopePeople.com. We have a store over there, and I have a thing. Oh, there it is. We have a store, and then up here, where my finger is, I have a little QR code, so you can just scan that with your phone and go right to the store. And I wanted to do that and just, whatever.
Wow.
How cool is that? Oh, I meant to turn that off. Yeah, there we go. And then, of course, you should come find me on Thursdays over with my friend Dave.
Yeah, on Thursday night, come hang out on YouTube. Peace,
right.
Love, and Cope.
Mm-hmm.
I will be there for you to ask questions about anything, really. But let me help you take your health back into your hands. Cannabis is a great means of doing so.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I was pointing at the little YouTube thing that's going to be right over there.
Nice.
Yeah, right?
I like it.
Me too. And then now we're going to listen to our friend John, rates and reviews, always doing the best and most for us, and we appreciate him. So without any further ado, he's going to talk about, what did I say? Grow Science Topenga crossed with Mike Larry and Nature's Heritage Orange Chemeleon.
Have you ever wondered what to buy? Have you ever pondered if that will get you high? Well, don't just go in and guesstimate. Listen close, get you something great like a tender disco yell. My Bud Jon is here to help.
Hey, Aaron. Hey, Dave. Welcome back to John's Reviews and Reports. Today we're doing Grow Science, Topenga, and Mike Larry, and Nature's Heritage, Orange Chemeleon. So just to start off, we're going to do the Topenga Mike Larry. You crack the jar right away. You're getting something sweet, some earthy notes, nothing too sharp. Just like a real nice, clean, natural, great smell. You get a little too more in depth. You get that tricorder on it. You start scanning it. All you see are trichomes. They're gleaming. They're beautiful. They look great. Now on the smoke, the flavor came through. It matched. Everything was exactly what I was looking for here. It had that nice, sweet, earthy profile, just as it kind of smelled. Always kind of a key indication that I'm smoking something good. This was kind of your no nonsense. This is going to be an excellent brand here. They know how to grow some flower. They're under the Verano tag, so I was a little worried at first, but they showed up. They did it right. Everything was from bud structure to trim job to just smoke consistency. Everything was great. I am going to put a red alert on this one, mainly because when I got down to the last bud, I was like, oh, well, that's sad. So, depression level high when you run out. That's the red alert. But definitely something I would suggest and tell you to go pick up. This one was a good one. Now, switching over to the Nature's Heritage Orange Chemeleon. You open it up. Again, flavor was there. Their smell was there. You get some really nice orange peely, nice citrusy notes. You kind of start looking at it. Nice popcorn buds. But with the little popcorn buds, you get some sort of a lot of sugar leaves in here. This is a quarter. Honestly, it was decent smoke. I'm a little picky, so I pulled off some of those smaller sugar leaves and gave myself something fun to smoke. And honestly, it held up. It didn't fall off. The effects were nice, uplifting. It's that nice functional high. Go out, rake the driveway, mop the lawn. Probably be mopping the lawn more these days with all the rain. It's really just a nice, solid, flavorful, decent smoke. Next week, we're actually going to be doing a full lineup of Nature's Heritage. This is the local skunk. We're doing some pre-rolls. This is the lilac diesel. And we're also going to be doing the, what is this? It is Grape Diamonds Live Butter. So I don't believe they are diamonds. That's the name of the strain. Grape Diamonds, and it is a live butter. Little confusing there, but I think pretty sure it's a butter. We're going to find out though. So that's what we got to look forward to next week. I had the pleasure of meeting some of their reps. They were very professional, treated everything very well with gloves, very knowledgeable about their products. So I had a little chat with them, told them I'd do some reviews. So that's what we got going on. Till next time, guys.
Oh yeah, I love that.
That is super cool.
Yeah, John told me that he got a whole lineup of that and asked if he should make the reviews longer and do the whole thing, or just I said, hey, how about you just cut them down into more, and then you just have more reviews to do. You know what I mean? And he agreed. And John's been doing awesome, and I'm so glad that he's able to get more stuff. That's the whole point, you know.
Yeah.
Support dope people. Support your friends. And don't just talk about it. Like, actually do it.
Yeah. I'm a big fan. You can it's cool too because the bud tender and John.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so when you're standing across from somebody,
yep,
and he's telling you about the difference between the grow science and the fucking Nature's Heritage, you can hear it even through the review there. You're like, man, I kind of want to try that fucking grow science.
Yeah.
Right? Like if he's that excited about it, it makes it where you go, okay, I could get down. The other thing is when he talks about Nature's Heritage using gloves to literally handle their product because they care a little bit more than meat fisting their shit. It's really like that is the next level of where cannabis has to go. Like we actually care about our product. It's not just overproduced, quickly packaged, but and like
Well,
he said, it's popcorn,
can,
but so those little sugar leaves. So like if you're holding gloves with your stuff, you probably have a
well,
high-end product that's nice.
can I just say that we do need some advancement in cannabis. One of the problems with regulation and overregulation of things is that because government moves so slow and generally is not the most educated on what is correct in in the actual experience of doing things. You know, they know things. I'm not saying that they don't necessarily know things, but like in the act of actually doing the things, government is probably the last to understand how that works. And with overregulation, we don't get some of that advancement that we need because we're so strung out by old regulations. And so that's something that we need to remember when we allow people to write these laws for us.
Oh yeah. I don't want to jump off the rabbit hole, and you can cut this if it needs to be, but like I saw somebody explaining how Jerome Powell and Scott Bessent were at some conference talking about cryptocurrencies. And I'm like, what do these old lifetime politicians know about cryptocurrencies to be the people who are somehow regulating what cryptocurrencies do? And like, even for somebody who's tried to understand them myself, like I get cryptography and I get kind of some of the stuff that's going on. I still don't understand it on a level where I think I should be making a damn law about it. So
Right.
how are these old cronies and supposed to figure out what's right or like
Yeah.
it's
Agreed.
just what you feel good by whoever comes and talks to you and you're like, it makes sense to me. But like
Pretty much.
yeah. Nah.
I know, right?
Anyway, now I sorry to side note. I was just thinking about like what you're saying, like who never mind. They're not authorities.
Right. Hey, let's get to YouTube comments. So I just hit play. Yeah, I love that song.
Right.
Everybody loves that. Everybody says, "Hey, man, where'd you get those songs?" I always say Dave. Dave does them with Suno.
Yeah.
But like, they put the song together, but Dave does actually does the stuff.
Oh, look at you. You got Clueless over there, dude.
Oh yeah. Macho Grams be savage. Great show, fellas. Thanks for bringing us the real news we need. No fluff. Exactly, Macho Grams. You get it.
Thanks,
My brother. And go check out Macho Grams be savage on YouTube and Instagram. Great follow. Chi-Town Hi-Fi. Morning, noon, or night. Watch these guys. They know what's right. Great show, guys. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you.
Shit.
I know, right?
I'm a fan of rhyming.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, gets me every time.
Cole Memo. Had to leave mid-premiere, came back to finish the episode and drop a comment. Great listen. Thank you, Cole Memo. Everybody check out the Cole Memo, thecolememo.com, and streaming live Tuesday nights at 7:15, unless otherwise announced.
I really like that last interview he did with Jimmy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was fun.
That was a fun one. Brett Burtz, who grows absolute fire. This dude just blows people out of the water. Totally agree. Growers Club over trap events all day. We're gonna try and throw some more growers events. I just got to figure some, life gets in the way too.
Yeah.
John Doe, gonna head out. Great watch as usual. Both you gentlemen take care. See you on the next episode. John Doe 6741. Appreciate you. He also says demolishing an entire tray of anything good needs no apology. Dave, with your maple bacon hash browns or whatever.
Bro, cheese curds.
Cheese curds. That's right. Yeah.
I love them. Yeah. I just need to do some a full tray of push-ups.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Mr. Work 420, thanks for the show, guys. Also grows absolute fire. Have sampled some of his very, very recently, including the great GMP seeds, which is Green Mountain Preservations. Our friends out in Colorado, 99 Moons and 99 Widows, absolute fire, both of those.
Nice.
And then
I
our
like
friend
Cindy 99 mixed with White Widow. And
Yep.
nice.
Yeah, let me tell you.
Dude, Cindy 99 used to be my girl.
Yeah. John Voight, our friend, hitting the like is just like hitting the pipe. It makes you feel good. And then his review on the like button.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. All around hero there, guy.
I know. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then we go over to the. Ready, click here. Live. Oh, yeah. There we go. Live chat replay. Let me click about here and say hey to all the people. All right, here we go. Shout outs to Daily Homegrown, Cole Memo, Mr. Work 420, Local X1, new user, Satisfied Mind, Daily Homegrown. I said that. Dr. Danknugs, check him out Monday nights. Best damn grow show.
Yeah, he's supposed to have a good one tonight too, right?
Yeah, he's doing some.
Because
Yeah,
we record on Mondays. It's
Yeah, we
technically
record on
420.
Mondays.
Happy
Yeah.
420, all
Happy
y'all.
420. Yeah.
I think he's got a good one going on.
Minnesota Organics. Let's see. Also growing some fire in an earth box right now. Skunk Ape Glassworks, Frank LaBarbera, Lisa and Angela, always our friends over there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Anybody else we miss? I don't think we missed anybody else.
You got to know Sean Whitney's got to be in there.
I mean, Sean's in there for sure.
He's got to be. He is. He's that guy.
He's always showing up. He might have been in the beginning. I know he was in there. So
yeah, Brandon Krieger maybe.
Brandon Krieger.
You got to imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I made it late in the episode.
Yeah, you made it late in this one. Yeah, there's Brandon Krieger right there. We were talking about the ADD stuff. Yep.
So I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
Honestly, such a yeah.
Yeah,
I do love making it into those live chats.
I know. They're the best.
Except for I hear myself say some stuff and then I'm like, damn it.
I'm so over it at this point, Dave. Like I don't even very rarely do I get the internal cringe.
Yeah, okay. Touche.
I mean, I'm just so used to doing it or hearing it now. IDPH released March medical cannabis sales totals of $13,369,358.67. This total tracks with medical sales numbers after a new medical cannabis patient registry system was launched. Numbers of patients reported may vary between systems. The total sales included $6.5 million in dry flower and a little over $6.5 million in concentrates and infused products.
Whoa.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
Is that a big thing? Concentrates over flower products, David?
Oh, it's lumping like edibles and stuff together.
Okay, fair.
I was like, holy shit. But yeah, because he said 13 million and that covers the 13 million, just those two categories.
Yeah. Oh, so, yeah, concentrates and infused products.
Yeah. If it was concentrates and like,
sure,
you know, yeah, an RSO or something, that would be one thing. If they had lumped edibles in some other category, that'd be huge. But
licensed medical cannabis dispensary served 50,000 unique patients who purchased 1,342,298 grams of dry cannabis. On average, the new sales totals have been around 6 million less than the totals before the implementation of the new registry system. This also does not account for medical patients who shopped with medical discounts at rec dispensaries.
Dude, well, you can't track that anyway.
Yeah.
How? Wow. How does it drop that much? And I know we've talked about it a bunch. I understand.
because people
Dude,
are
right,
bored of the market and like
but dude,
the-
$6 million in a month, like from May to June last year, and then it's just decreasingly gone down since. And I know that a lot of like medical patients, and this happens in every cannabis market. This isn't new
sure.
to like Illinois. Once the recreational market takes over and things are cheap enough, you just go to the recreational side and whatever, because of the convenience of not going through the process.
Dave, look
Or
at the
like the
totals for
process of just going to, oh
2021.
my god. Well, that's
Even if
wow.
it's inflated, Dave.
Wow.
Even if it's
Uh, they're happier to make the money on the rec side. Well, the
yeah,
state's
that's
happier that they make the money on the rec side. The
yeah. I've been screaming that for 2 years.
but the cultivation and dispensaries are not. Personally, I would rather sell the product on a medical side.
Mhm.
Granted, there's only 50 or 60 licenses, and for a lot of people, you have to drive past way too many dispensaries to get to the medical one to make it make sense also. So like I said, when it's this process to go through, getting the card, seeing the doctor, and
Yeah.
unless you have the lifetime, cards, whatever it is, going through all of those processes to get to being a medical patient. And now the cost difference, like they
Mhm.
brought down cost on the recreational side so that
You could
medical
compete.
patients would
Yeah.
show up to their dispensary to begin with,
Right.
and then they give medical patients discounts on the recreational side
Mhm.
to make it offset the taxation.
Yep.
So like why would you, what's the difference? Like I'd
Well,
rather go to a
I'd rather
fucking.
not give the states my tax money.
But that's and I'm with you, and but that's my whole point. Like, as the consumer, unless you're that conscious of it, you just
Sure.
know dollar per dollar what makes sense. And if I get 20% off up front for you to then tax me 30% at the end, it really
Sure.
does offset pretty well.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, in some arbitrage, you have the potential of making out better. So, like, to go to the recreational dispensary over the medical one. So, I wouldn't see why. I know why medical dispensary owners are like license holders are like, yeah, keep all the rec dispensaries separate because we want to hold that and we want to be the place where all the medical people come. But we see that that's falling apart now. And like, you know, yeah, even when I've been in places where there's a medical or a recreational side, both. Now, this is granted back in the day. I watch plenty of people go, well, what the hell is the point of me getting the card? Now I got to go see the doctor. That costs $100. I got to get
Sure.
the card. That costs $100. Like, so the $200+ if I just am able to save that on the tax side,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Hey, so a newly filed bipartisan bill in the U.S. Senate would effectively let states opt out of the federal recriminalization of hemp THC products that is set to be enacted later this year. Hemp derivatives with less than 0.3% Delta 9 THC on a drug weight basis was federally legalized under 2018 Farm Bill that President Donald Trump signed in his first term in office. But late last year, Trump signed new legislation containing provisions that will redefine hemp in a way that advocates say stands to destroy the industry, making it so only products with, excuse me, 0.4 milligrams of total THC per container will remain legal after November 12th. Under the new Hemp Safety Enforcement Act, introduced on Thursday by Senators Rand Paul, Amy Klobuchar, and I don't know if it's Joni or Yoni Ernst, either way. States and Indian tribes could decide to continue regulating and allowing hemp THC products to be produced and sold in their jurisdictions despite the planned federal ban. This sounds like historically something that the United States has done before. You can have a federal ban on things, but you should allow states to maybe opt out if they so choose. That's why it's called these United States. And if you don't,
will this pass? Will there be is there any chance of
Maybe,
this?
maybe.
You think so?
I think it has more of a chance of passing than some of the other stuff. This is bipartisan. Like we got Amy Klobuchar out of Minnesota on this. We also just saw Target, which is headquartered in Minnesota. And if you watched the Cole memo last week, you'll know he talked about this, and we've talked about this many times. Target, it just implemented more stores with hemp drinks in them.
Nice.
So like, you know, this actually has more of a chance of passing than some of the other stuff. About half the states, including Kentucky, have already established their own regulatory rules for hemp, age limits, serving size caps, and testing requirements. These are the three things that Cole over at the Cole memo talks about as well. These state laws let farmers thrive while keeping products out of kids' hands, which is always the complaint from lawmakers. It also says the new restrictive policy will wipe out the multi-billion-dollar industry while depriving individuals of products they depend on to improve sleep, relieve anxiety, and alleviate pain. Paul said in a social media post, "My bill would protect thousands of jobs, family farms, and safe access for veterans and seniors." I 100% agree. The bill says that a state or Indian tribe desiring to have primary regulatory authority over the production of hemp and hemp-derived cannabinoid products in the state or territory of the Indian tribe may submit to the U.S. Secretary of Agriculture, quote, through the State Department of Agriculture, in consultation with the governor or chief law enforcement officer of the state or the tribal governor as applicable, a notice that the state or Indian tribe elects not to be subject to the impending federal ban. It also, in order for that to take effect, it would need to implement a minimum age requirement for the purchase of hemp-derived cannabinoid products. It does not specify what the age limit would be. It also would allow interstate commerce between states and tribes that opt out of the broad national prohibition. I thought that was super important.
That's huge. Yeah.
Yeah, that's huge. So
I just wonder, who is more for the, like, I don't see what's his name fucking from Illinois getting behind this. Pritzker.
No.
So it's great, and I hope that it makes sense, or that it comes to fruition, but I think that the federal signing of this was a blunder. So now,
I mean, we've seen so many blunders,
yeah,
for sure. Hey, let's talk about. Again, Senator Rand Paul. He's the second best that we have right now. So,
who's number one?
Thomas Massey.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely, Thomas Massey. Vaporizing. I'm just going on. They have, regardless of left or right politics, they've been consistently right on the most important issues continuously. And so it goes back to something you said earlier, the fact that we continue to listen to people who have been wrong over and over and over is just, we should be listening to the people who are consistently right, not the people who have gotten the wrong, when it's been most important. Vaporizing marijuana products reduces harmful inhaled byproducts by 99% compared to joint smoking, new study shows. This is what vapors had been screaming for a long time, that it was, we know that it can still be harmful, and you should not be smoking, but it is still better than combusting. Vaporizing marijuana releases far fewer harmful chemicals than smoking joints does, according to a new study. These results demonstrate that combustion, not cannabis itself, is the primary driver of harmful inhalation byproducts, and that controlled vaporization can significantly reduce exposure to those compounds, the study conducted and self-published by the vape device company PAX found. I didn't read that it was from PAX.
No, yeah, I'm with you. I just feel like PAX would want to have this be the thing. But
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, and I would
Uh,
tell you that if you're comparing vaping to paper inhalation, like
yeah,
it's very easy to sway those stats. But like, you know, take away butane, let's say using like a hemp rope. What are those things called? The little
the hemp to light it.
yeah, yep. If you're using that and you've taken some of that joint residue out
Sure.
of the process as well. But besides that, I got a vape
Sure.
thing packed up ready to go right here,
I just wanted to show I just got your browser has lost connection to your screen share audio. Okay, I'll remember that. CASA.org, which is harm reduction that says you should vape over combusting cigarettes, also has a bunch of information on why vaping is better than combusting. So, agreed, PAX would want this to happen, but here is an actual organization that would tell you the same thing that is not owned by a vape company. So,
yeah, and I'm with it. We're talking about
for sure, I'm just
almost
telling the people.
worlds of
Sure.
separation, though. When yeah,
Yeah.
but so like, because what this is also saying is that smoking distillate that has been enhanced with flavonoids or terpenoids or whatever it
Correct.
is more beneficial than going through or less harmful than going through some of the other things like combustion. Now,
Sure.
it's just that in the realm of inhalation there's also multiple forms of ingestion, right? Like
Hmm.
wrapping it in a piece of paper,
Sure.
smoking it through a dirty ass pipe using butane, heavy butane amounts. The list goes on. So
That's why you should smoke clean glass. Like, I know lots of people who have like very dirty, tarred up glass, and that's not great either. You got to keep your implements clean. It's for a reason.
right there at the top of your screen, it says it though. When you potentially harmful compounds, HPHCs.
Hmm.
Yep, that
Benzene, formaldehyde. I don't know how to say that one.
Aldehyde?
Acetaldehyde. Yeah, there. Acetaldehyde. Yeah. Uh, Vaporization, in contrast, heats cannabis to below the point of combustion while still releasing cannabinoids and terpenes. The
Yeah.
research conducted by Richard Rucker, who serves as PAX Director of Product Integrity, and Derek Shalokuri, Senior Chemist and Data Scientist at the company, compared aerosol generated by PAX's dry herb vape devices and its oil vape devices with smoke from combusted marijuana joints. The team compared levels of 16 HPHCs between the methods of consumption, all using the same batch of ground lemon cake batter cannabis from Humboldt Farms.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, so they show that it is by a lot less. So
Yeah, and dude, I just wonder if the joint isn't like that you're ramping it up, right?
mhm.
Bleached paper, like all
Well,
of
that's
that.
why I've always said well, I haven't always said. That's why there's rolling paper companies out there who say you should actually pay attention to what's in your paper
Bingo,
and what's in the gums.
bingo. That's
Yeah.
hey,
Yeah.
all right.
Here's our last news story, Dave.
I like it.
I know. And you talked about this a little bit Thursday on your PeaceLoveandCope stream. President Donald Trump has signed an executive order aimed at expanding and expediting research on the potential therapeutic benefits of psychedelics. A move aimed at making substances. A move aimed at making substances such as psilocybin, ibogaine, LSD, and MDMA more readily available to patients in clinical settings. The move will dramatically accelerate access to new medical research and treatments based on psychedelic drugs.
Is that because
We have a video to watch too.
for everything else? And I didn't listen to the whole entire executive order, and I didn't read this one.
Sure.
But I thought that he was only signing this for Ibogaine.
I'm just reading you what's here, and then we're gonna watch the video.
I'm with you. And
it says a move aimed at making substances
bingo,
such as.
That's my whole point. Is it's kind of framed in a way that makes it seem like a bunch of other things might be under the microscope at this point. I think Ibogaine is the moving factor there, and it is because of opiate reduction.
Sure.
Where the other things would be used more as a mental health.
Yeah.
Yes.
In many cases, these experimental treatments have shown life-changing potential for those suffering some severe mental illness and depression, including our cherished veterans, Trump said. You better do things. This is me, Aaron, talking. You better do something for our veterans since you're sending them off to commit more war crimes on behalf of the U.S., you jerk. Sorry. Actually, not sorry. Don't give a shit. Steps taken under the order.
Bad, okay.
Yeah, all war is bad. I hate war. I'm anti-war. That's first and foremost. Fuck your party politics. I'm anti-war.
Mm-hmm.
Steps taken under the order will clear away unnecessary bureaucratic hurdles, improve data sharing among the FDA and departments, Veterans Affairs, and facilitate fast rescheduling of any psychedelic drugs that become FDA approved, the president said. Let's watch this.
Hello, everybody.
Oh, that's 45 minutes.
A little bit unusual.
Yeah, we're not. Hold on. Let me.
Bobby's a very unusual person. I said, when is the news conference? He said, Saturday morning. I said, I know.
Oh, there we are. Is there a closed captioning on this? Oh, yeah, there is.
Of depression and anxiety within. Done right, please. Will you get the rescheduling done, please? They're slow. A7 will go
that's
to
exactly
120
what I wanted
and we'll go down from 1,300 to 120. So we'll have these massive price cuts, and they've all done right, please. Will you get the rescheduling done, please? They're slow walking me on rescheduling.
This is the cannabis rescheduling.
Okay, you get it done, right?
Yeah.
In 2024 study from Stanford University,
Look at
30
Rogan back there
special
just
operation veterans with traumatic brain injuries underwent.
Yeah.
Yes. What a panel, first of all.
Yeah.
Anything where Joe Rogan's standing in the middle of all of these suited, whatever, titled folks.
Yeah.
Awesome, first of all. The fact that he has this much influence on things is awesome. Can be used horribly in some capacities if you thought that too, but it's cool to see movement happening because of somebody who actually knows. Like most of the other people in that panel, except for the white coats on the left side of the fucking screen, don't have a clue what the hell Ibogaine is. They couldn't tell you the difference. Maybe a couple of them had a little bit of that psilocybin back in the day.
I definitely I want to tell people this is from last year, and Rogan has talked about in the past Ibogaine and had scientists and stuff on. He says this is one of the most important podcasts I've ever done, especially if you or someone you know has struggled with addiction. Governor Perry and W. Brian Hubbard joined me to discuss Ibogaine therapy and the efforts that has been made to bring it to Texas to get this miraculous plant off the Schedule I list. It is a truly insane rate of success for helping people kick addictions, cure anxiety and depression, and even many neurological conditions. You can listen to it on Spotify and everywhere else. I definitely recommend people go listen to that, and you can hear like actual people tell you about it.
Yeah, I would love to. I don't know what Ibogaine is. I feel weird that like this thing is this relevant and I don't have any understanding, knowledge, or experience with.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to look into it a little bit harder.
Well, yeah, we should. We really should have somebody. I wonder if I was going to share this. I wonder if our friend Alex knows about Ibogaine.
Oh,
Do you
okay.
have his number, Dave? Still?
Maybe.
Maybe you should reach out to Alex.
Yeah.
You just reach out and be like, "Hey." Or like you know. Or Ibogaine is a psychoactive indole alkaloid derived from plants such as Tabernath iboga, characterization by hallucinogenic and one-iogenic effects. So it is, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I do know it is similar in like the ayahuasca type things where it is a journey, and I know it takes it's usually like 24 to 36 hours if I remember correctly. And like
I thought that the Ibogaine, when I was reading about it the other day, I think that this thing is like shorter lived.
is it the ayahuasca that goes longer?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. Yeah, we should have somebody on that knows more about it, or I should refresh myself. I didn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll take a look into it. And I'm all for condition treatment,
Mhm.
and especially I'm super for mental health.
Yeah.
Yeah, cuz in a place where all of the things that you ingest are uh, through your eyes are meant to trigger you one way or another or lead you one way or another, it'd be nice to have a space where like you can make your own decisions, you know? And I think that with a little bit of boost, a little bit extra help, it becomes a little easier sometimes.
Yeah, I was trying to see if they actually talked about any of the numbers here. Yeah, they just there's some of the people talking about personal experiences with ibogaine and how it works, and so this is great. Anything that we can do to help people, PTSD, traumatic brain injuries, drug addiction, mental health, our veterans,
Yeah.
let's see here. It says Representative Morgan Luttrell, who also attended the signing ceremony, said in a statement that he can personally attest to the significant benefits of this treatment. He said, "It changed my life, and I look forward to seeing the impact it will have on countless others. We're losing too many veterans. If this treatment gives us a chance to change that, then we owe it to them to pursue it. The president's executive order brings us closer to a lasting solution that our veterans deserve." Absolutely.
I wonder if cuz like my experience has been more in psilocybin
Sure.
doing kind of the very same things.
Sure.
Right? And like yeah, I wonder how relative or how close it is. I also think, if I'm not wrong, when I was reading about it the other day on Thursday, it was very low dose thing.
Yeah.
Like we're not looking to get obliterated or super intoxicated by it again. It's like a actual therapy. So
I'm not the type of person who regularly takes psychedelics for fun. I'm just not a person who sees like doing it all the time as a fun thing. You know what I mean? I'm glad that people find enjoyment out of it, but I think it's more like it's more for work than anything else. Does that make sense? You get what I'm saying. I'm just
bingo,
talking
but
about
in
me
the
personally, and I'm not poo-pooing anybody who takes it for recreation.
yeah, but in the sense of like eating hits of acid every day, multiple hits of acid every day, so that you have this like intoxicated, and like nobody's taking hits of acid every day. Like that's not a big thing either. But like
Yeah, you're gonna get tired
um,
of it not working.
low dose, and this is why psilocybin's been so exciting to me and something that I talk about quite a bit, is because very low doses of the
Mhm.
thing in controlled settings is like as therapeutic or as medicinally beneficial as any cannabis that I've ever consumed.
Sure.
Right. And I use cannabis multiple times a day to try and regulate this thing, where I could use psilocybin once every few days, or even if it was regularly and every day, even if I, took smaller doses of it multiple times a day, the ability to stay in control and
Mhm.
like, yeah, it's one of the coolest things to me. So I don't know. I'm all for forward movements in this department of things.
Yeah. I
Mhm.
mean, that's exactly why I wanted to highlight that today instead of doing the typical 420 thing.
Yeah, the
Because
Waldos are great.
yeah,
Thanks again for those guys and being friends with the Grateful Dead. And the story's cool, right?
yep,
The treasure map never led them to anything, though.
right,
So again, it's very cool to be a part of the culture. The fact that now it is turned into a piggyback ride for profit from the dispos and stuff. It's you're taking away from what it was back in
correct.
the day, but
Yep.
for those who are using it to benefit them to get a cheaper bag and whatever, like cool for them too,
Hmm.
but wouldn't it be great if there was just a consistently available, reasonably priced product that didn't have to go on super sale every once in a while to freak people out and get them to spend extra money? Couldn't you just get the people who wanted to spend money on this thing to spend their money in a manner that they don't feel screwed over by?
Well, I think these smart dispensaries and the smart spots are starting to, or may start to understand that it's culture over sales, and if you want to, it's community over sales, and if you're not doing things for your community, and if you're not trying to cultivate an actual community, you're missing out, and you're gonna, you'll see. You'll see. I think some brands are starting to understand that, and then some are just focused on, you know,
It's it's all individual.
pretend playing with 4-year-old distillate in their edibles.
Well, and
You know,
yeah, it's all for the individual experience, right? Like,
sure.
d-
And that's what I'm
it,
talking about. It's about the individual experience, and you can see in the numbers that people are getting tired of the experience here in Illinois.
yeah, I thought just 420 specific. I think
Yeah.
it's very fun for some, and it's I've got nothing better to do. I might as well go to this dispensary. I was going to go some other day,
Hmm.
but like waiting in the lines and doing all that junk
Yeah,
to
I'm good.
get to the thing that ultimately, like, it's available tomorrow. It's on sale, but this is it. Now
I saw people buying
dispensaries are
$150 colas, and
oh, dude, that Queen Cola thing or whatever, right? And it's just a big stick with bruh,
bro, I got about
bruh.
40 of those in a Rubbermaid tub.
Yeah, I don't know. That was a weird thing for me.
I mean, they've been doing that for a while. That's
Have they?
like, yeah, no, it's a weird thing. It's a
Yeah.
weird thing. Hey,
I
yeah, not for me. There's still a place for it, but it's not for me. Uh, Dave, are you ready for Conditional Cannabis Corner?
I always
Did you
am.
see that last week? I thought I edited the part out where I'm like, oh, I'm gonna put you over here and do this and blah blah blah
Y-
blah blah. I can't believe I left that in. That was so crazy. I was like, oh,
A little behind the
whatever. Yeah, a
scenes.
little behind the scenes. Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, that's about the only editing we do. We do very little editing. But Dave, today you're going to talk about
Pain.
cannabis for pain relief too. Right.
Oh, yes.
out some symptoms from your condition to help you feel better. That is my mission. At the Conditional Cannabis Corner, you can get that information, and it won't even cost you a quarter.
All right, my friends. Welcome to another Conditional Cannabis Corner where I will talk about pain relief. You do know that cannabis is claimed to be used number one for pain relief. It is the number one use, according to people who are willing to tell people what they use cannabis for. It is pain relief. And let's start off by saying there are many different forms of pain. Okay. So understanding that pain can be from neuropathy, from spasticity, from inflammation, also means that we have to understand what the best ways to use certain products for certain types of pains means. Often, if you look at what is out there in the world, they will tell you using a balanced THC and CBD is going to help reduce most of the pain symptoms. Well, that is because CBD is very antispastic, anti inflammatory. It has tons of properties that will help kind of reduce the intensity of those processes. THC is antispastic, has anti inflammatory properties in itself, but it is the breakthrough switch. It's the flip the light thing where you go, okay, I feel very bad. Now I feel something. I at least feel a little, even if it is just what I call intoxication all the time, that hum, that buzz, that little something starts off and kicks into effect the relief, the comforts. So using THC for pain relief, and if that's what everybody's doing or that most people are using cannabis for is pain relief, they're often missing some of the big benefits that cannabis has to offer by only going through the breakthrough portion of the pain relief. They get that mild comfort, they get that mild intoxication, that very like, hey, I feel buzzy, I feel a little bit better, a little bit of the pain has melted. But are we ultimately benefiting the processes or giving the most attention to the processes that we need to? And that's where having that balance or even CBD rich diet in this thing comes to fruition or plays its best benefits. So if you are somebody who is dealing with pain, and even if you are somebody that they have classified as chronic pain, I think knowing the root of where your pain is coming from can exponentially benefit you. If you're dealing with neuropathy, which is pain, that's nerve pain, that actually has benefited most, where CBD almost, it's though beneficial, is not as beneficial as low dose THC ingestion. So there's many different types of pain. There's many different types of treatments for the pain. And if we're talking about getting to a level of comfort that is perfect, right? Where, because I've talked about this a lot, if you're treating neuropathy and you do this much, which is not enough, well, then it's literally, it's not enough. We still have the neuropathy. And sometimes if you do too much, it's almost like you didn't do enough also, because now I'm just intoxicated and the neuropathy is still there. Well, so how do I treat it now? Well, if CBD is not going to necessarily But again, you don't really ever see the words neuropathy and then CBD directly correlated, though they are in some instances. It's not always the first thing where they're like, okay, you have neuropathy, run CBD. It's like neuropathy, low dose THC. And the reason is because we want to hit that perfect line. And again, so many different types of pain. And there's so many different types of treatments that if I were to tell you the first thing, if you're just feeling generalized pain, it's typically inflammation. All of us are dealing with inflammation. Gravity's pulling us down into the rock, trying to suck us into it. And for that, all of our joints hurt and our back and our neck and everything. If you're not using CBD and you're feeling all of those things, that there could be the problem. The other thing is too, and this is what I've been talking to a lot of people. One, where the hell do you get CBD from? Um, the sources are getting less, especially because of the reclassification of it. And two, well, it's cost kind of in there too, but two, it's like too consistently dosed to make it where CBD is viable and usable. You have to take the thing multiple times a day. And a lot of people either one can't afford it or two, we just like I'm not getting the immediate relief that I'm looking for. So for me to go back and want to take the dose in the middle of the day or to remember to take the dose at the end of the night when you're not getting a feeling from it. You're not getting that light switch. You're not getting the breakthrough. It's what THC is capable of. It makes it hard for people to stay regimented or on top of their CBD use. Also, a lot of products offering very low doses of CBD in the same way, like THC at 5 or 10 milligrams is very effective for some people. CBD at 5 or 10 milligrams is typically not effective for most people, right? Like CBD, I've seen 25 be a floor for most people. But also, when I'm consuming CBD, and I do currently, it's 200 milligram capsules of it. And depending on how I'm feeling when I wake up in the morning, it might be two of them. And then in the middle of the day, I'll pop another one. At the end of the night, I'll pop another one. So by the time I'm done, I have 800 milligrams of CBD in my system, 1,000 milligrams CBD in my system. And most people just don't have access to it. So again, I think that CBD is a big factor here, but I think it's a big factor in the sense that, like, in a way too, where people are not using it effectively or enough to get the actual big benefits from it. So THC continues to be a front runner for how we consume for pain relief, and it's very effective. And I beg you all to continue to make yourselves feel good. Never feel guilty to feel good. That's one of my favorite statements. But also, if you're still in pain after using the THC or you're getting your quick little puffs and it's giving you some comfort, really, I beg you, increase that CBD dose. Try and find things where when you're taking your THC, you're also taking some CBD. And it's not because you have to be smoking 1-to-1 things, right? Often smoking CBD isn't as beneficial as orally, like eating and getting it to digest through your stomach. CBD is going to be, right? Doing that makes it linger a little bit longer, makes the absorption, if you're absorbing it, a little bit more effective. But moral of this whole story, if you're in pain, cannabis is damn effective at it. Know what type of pain you're dealing with, know what methods of ingestion are probably going to benefit you the most, and then definitely really start using some of that CBD. I say it in almost every one of these conditional cannabis corners, but CBD is more beneficial in this factor than any other thing I think we're going to talk about. So that's it. I love you all.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I said that to a couple people at the seed swap. Don't feel guilty to feel good.
Yeah, you should.
You know, and I tell, that's one of my favorite things that I try and remember to tell people. Don't feel guilty to feel good.
Yeah,
It's
literally at my uncle's birthday party this week, I had one of my cousins ask me about. He said he's struggling with some stuff. I said CBD. He said, "Well, that's what I was going to ask you. Like, I can't smoke THC or have any THC in my system, but every CBD product that I look at or try to find says could contain THC in it." And I'm like, listen, first of all, it's trace amounts. And I, it's so small typically if you're getting a quality product. But then that's my whole point to him, too. Even the most quality products that you see from a dispensary, all right, a 1 gram concentrated CBD rich thing has 700, 800 milligrams of CBD in it, but it also has 30 milligrams of THC.
because it's a carrier.
So if you're unable to have THC in your system at all, finding
And it is harder to find CBD. In fact, I wanted to, before I forget, and sometimes that's why I interrupt, because I'll forget. And so I always apologize. Please tell us, where are you getting your CBD from? What's a good source for CBD? Unfortunately, our friend Mason over at Thunder Ranch Farms is sounds like he is probably not going to continue to grow this year, and has found an actual real job. So the person that I would recommend is gone. What do you guys have? You guys tried anything else anywhere else? I know there's North Adams Farms, and there's Hemp Farms, and in fact, I need to talk to the person from Hemp Farms. They are running for I think Congress. They're on the Cole memo. I haven't watched it yet. I need to. Sorry, Cole. I can't remember their name right now. But there's a couple hemp farms like out there doing stuff. But like people out there in the comments, tell me like what are the trusted places to get CBD now? Like, what do you think?
Yeah, please. Because even if it's like isolate and stuff, and then you would have to semi-process it, and it's not that like, and I don't mean processing in a way that you have to do any chemistry, but I
Right.
mean like put it into
Yeah, I process.
encapsulate
Yeah.
or mixing it with a carrier oil or something. Yeah, I
Yeah.
would love to know that too. Because
Yeah.
isolate, at least at that point, we know that there's nothing else.
Right.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Well, happy 422, y'all, because today's 422, man. Yeah. Haha, got him.
Got him.
We love you all. Smoke weed every day. Peace.
Yo, ding dong, we're done here. Time to go. Donuts!